MKP. For those of you who want to know the type of man that I am, I will give you some examples. So, several years ago when I was living with my wife, bar down the street around the corner, I heard a young lady shouting, screaming. So I went down there to find out what was going on. She was in her car. It was a man who was beating on her. And I stood outside. I was a 150-pound weakling. And she's screaming, and I said, "I'm going to call the police." And a hulk of a man jumped out of the car. And he said, "Call the damn police." And I looked him straight in the eyes, and I said, "I am." And I ran up to my house, got on the phone, called the police, waited until the police showed up, went down the street to see that she was okay. And she had jumped out of the car, and she told the police, yes, her man, whatever, boyfriend, whatever, had been beating her upside the face. She did not want him in his car. She did not want to be driving him wherever. She got what she wanted. That's the type of man that I am. Excuse me for my phone there falling down on you. I'll give you another example. A friend of mine, man with a Jewish faith and culture, Louis Hirsch was his name. We used to host dinners here, meaning a bunch of us would go out to different restaurants once a month. He was a man who was challenged with diabetes, and through the years he had a arm and a leg amputated from the elbow and the arm and from the knee, been amputated, and declining health. And at one point he was hospitalized and going to nursing homes, and the nursing homes were not taking care of him properly. And I became his advocate. And the last time he was in a nursing home, when they were not taking him properly, he never truly recovered. He passed away, and I did a little one-man protest on that nursing home to get them to properly attend to patients who were there. They never gave him any PT. He had gone there specifically by the doctor to get PT, physical therapy, and they never gave him any. Spent a week in the hospital just laying around in bed. They never gave him any PT. But I followed up advocating for him at the time, and also after he had passed, I protested at that hospital, physically getting out there with a sign by myself, day after day, week after week, and also writing letters to that particular company which owned a franchise of nursing homes. I happen to also be managing a musical artist, and when we were releasing one of his songs, another person challenged the song copyright-wise, and the musical distributor chose not to follow the federal laws. So the distributor was hosting a musical conference. I went down to Austin, Texas to protest them because they choose not to follow federal laws regarding the copyrights of digital music. Again, that's the type of man that I am. When a particular area in MKP would not address an issue of violence and threats of violence in its circle, I did a protest on one of the weekends. It was not about men going in or out of the weekend. My protest was specifically at the weekend to protest that particular area because they would not address violence and threats of violence in their circles. It was about safety, the lack of a community addressing safety. Lastly, I got involved with another community, Greater Carolinas. Once again, safety in circles. It wasn't a protest, it was my sending out emails individually to men. Again, safety. You see a pattern of safety that I choose to involve myself in. Why? That is how my parents raised my sister and I. Those are the values given to us by our parents. We can be no other way. That is the type of man I am. That is the type of person I will be until I die. For some reason, that is not understood by the majority of men in MKP. For some reason, that is not understood by the board of directors and its support staff. They will never be able to unpack power, privilege, and difference because they can't let go of power. and focus on the topics in front of their face. They think of everything as a threat to their power. Sorry, Henry. Sorry, Rick. Your efforts are focused on education with the hopes and prayers that it takes care of the problem. It won't. Focus needs to be on when the problems and the conflicts occur, and men having the courage to do the right thing in the moment and real time. That's where the work and efforts need to be, and that's where MKP fails. I'm in,